What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Fam and welcome back to another episode of YOLO My IRA. This is a week 3 update of YOLOing my IRA. And as you can see, we are down about $500 as of last week, sitting at a cool $8,482.37, which isn't too bad, seeing that we saw as low as $7,800 at some point in the beginning of this week. But just looking at an overall recap of our balance history, you can see that we saw the meme twin peaks right here at the end of January, but ever since we have been bleeding. So hopefully we are able to recover this painful journey in the near future. But with that being said, let's take a look at the positions that we are currently holding onto as of this week, which is going to be the same as last week and the week before that. Nothing's really changed. You can see that we are still holding BlackBerry 300 shares at a cost basis of $13.64. As of Friday, it closed at $9.63, and the entire week it's been slowly bleeding. So I'm not entirely sure what's up with BlackBerry. Maybe this is just in anticipation for their earnings report coming this Tuesday, which I believe will be pretty positive, especially with all the news about BlackBerry coming out. So hopefully we'll see some positive movement with BlackBerry this coming week and the next couple weeks. But the only thing that's really changed is the fact that I decided to sell a covered call against my 300 shares at a $14 strike price, expiring April 16th. I received a cool $60-ish in premium in total, and I then in turn used those premiums to buy more shares of HITI. Now, I know what you're saying, the premium isn't really that great. I really don't care, because at the end of the day, I still am protecting myself, quote unquote, by selling it above my cost basis. So even if somehow BlackBerry runs up from $9.63 all the way past $14 at the end of the 16th, I won't be terribly mad, because at the end of the day, I'll profit about 36 cents per share, which isn't great. However, at least it'll get me out of my $1,200 hole, which I'm currently sitting on with my positions. So ultimately, I'm not too mad if I get out of BlackBerry, kind of like my wheelish stock, so I'll eventually just take those proceedings and then move it into another company that I feel has a lot of growth, like LKCO, Sumo, Mogo, whatever I'm feeling that day, like YOLOing into, it will go into it. But as of right now, we're just going to sell covered calls against BlackBerry just to receive premium above my cost basis, and then using those premiums to buy whatever I want, which in this case is more HITI. So it's weird because BlackBerry kind of did a switcheroo with GameStop, which is the next holding I'm going to be talking about. Last week, BlackBerry was sitting about like $10, maybe $11-ish, kind of hovering between that range, and then just plummeted. On the other hand, GameStop, after their earnings, decided to run up from like $130, $117 all the way up to $181, which is very nice to see. Seeing that now we're only down about 46%, which probably as of last week, I didn't really want to look at it, we were probably down about 50-ish%. So overall, GameStop holding is down about $1,800. I'm waiting for it to, go to the moon, so that way I can eventually sell out of this position. But I think there might be some movement, especially as we come towards the end of March and the beginning of April, especially with hedge funds and all these other firms having to report their quarterly earnings. So we'll see if big institutional buyers and holders are going to do some witchcraft with GameStop in the next couple weeks. As of right now, I'm just putting on an alert to see if GameStop ever surpasses 250, 300, or 200 in general. And when I do get those alerts, that's when I'll check in on the price and see if I want to sell. So we'll see. GameStop is pretty exciting. It'll be nice to get off this roller coaster once and for all. However, I am very positive on this, and we'll see some big things hopefully in the next coming weeks. Last but not least, we got HITI. This is going to be my mid to long term play. Very positive news, especially in the past couple of weeks, as of last week actually, where they're opening more stores, as well as they officially filed for listing on the NASDAQ. So that's actually a pretty big catalyst for HITI, because as of currently, high tide isn't available for a majority of retail investors, such as people who are on Robinhood. So in the next couple of weeks, if it eventually gets that NASDAQ listing, this will bring a whole flurry of new retail investors towards high tide. I think a lot of people on the Reddits are already acknowledging high tide as a very undervalued company and a pretty big play once legalization of the Mary Jane becomes official in the United States, especially under this Democratic administration. I don't think it's too far off to assume that this will be legalized in the next coming years, but I'm trying to accumulate as many shares as I can, holding on to this. This is kind of like a set and forget kind of stock until it breaks, my target price. There's a lot of potential with this stock, honestly. Hence why I've been using my call premiums to just buy more shares of this, because it's still currently under my cost basis at 72 cents. It closed as of Friday at around 67 cents, and the entire week it's been slowly creeping up incrementally on a positive trend. So I want to accumulate more shares as I can before it decides to surpass my cost basis. But I think we can see this stock going above $1 once the uplisting becomes official, and that will be a pretty big catalyst. So I don't know, for the time being, I'm just patiently waiting. There's nothing too crazy going on with my portfolio right now, because obviously we're just waiting for these catalysts to pop. I'm doing more management actually with my brokerage account, kind of managing my options in there and also kind of rebalancing my portfolio to a more growth oriented strategy. But with that being said, that's the update in regards to my Roth IRA, down about $500, sitting at a nice overall balance of about $8,400. So we'll just wait. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.